Hello again, everyone. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, I call it Tech Wreck because that's exactly what's been going on here over the last 2 weeks. Some of these high-flying tech stocks have really been hit, and of course, the Nasdaq Composite has been hit. We're going to take a look at the Nasdaq Composite, check back in with it. We looked at it 3 weeks ago, and at the same time, just check in with the QQQs and the Semiconductor Index. And the focus stock of the week this week is Amazon. So we'll look at all of that here in a second. I also want to check in on on the Summation Index, easy for me to say, the McClellan Summation Index, and see what it's telling us. And it's the Nasdaq Summation Index. All right, if you find that this video was helpful and you liked it, head on over to joehenches.net and check out the website and the membership. We get into this kind of detail on and a lot more every day. Okay, the Nasdaq Composite was down 117 points on Friday, and for the second day in a row now, it's closed below the 55-day moving average. Back over here a week ago Friday, it closed right on the 55-day moving average. It didn't, or maybe slightly above it. It didn't really close below it, bounced off of it, and now it's come back down below it. We'll see what kind of follow through we get. The other thing, when I look at the weekly chart, down 60 points for the week, we're just kind of hanging right in here at the 10-week moving average. This is the 10-week exponential that I've got on the chart. We closed below it. We were slightly below it the previous week. This is the first time that we're getting any kind of closes like this since back in February when it rolled over hard. So we'll see what kind of follow through we get. Same thing with what we're seeing over here. Let's take a quick look at the Qs. And as you would expect, the QQQs are basically mirroring the Nasdaq composite in here. The Nasdaq and the NDX, the Nasdaq 100, they're all looking almost identical. Now, some of these tech stocks have really been trading quite a bit, like Microsoft, quite a bit below the 55-day moving average, a lot more damage being done. Then you got some like Apple, who just closed down below the 55 on Friday. Let's take a look at the Semiconductor Index. Now, the Philly Semiconductor Index is not quite as weak in terms of the damage. You could see back over here on September 7th, it closed below the 55-day moving average. Then it just kind of chopped around, bounced up a little bit, came back down, tried to test it on Thursday, and then Friday we came back down. We were down 4.68. So it's just been kind of hugging in here. We'll see if we get any kind of further breakdown. Just looks like consolidation over the last week and a half after this big break that happened early in September. Okay, so that's the semiconductors. Now I want to go back to the Nasdaq Elliott Wave picture. Okay, so this is the daily chart, and here's the Elliott Wave picture I've got. I believe that we have had 5 intermediate waves up. I've talked about this before, and I believe the wave count is complete in here. We'll look at the weekly chart in a second. And right now we've broken down out of this channel, and this is the strong channel that we've been in since that March low. And so now I'm looking at the wave count, looking for 5 waves. I'm looking for the first 5 wave move down in here. I think we've had 1, 2, and in terms of working our 3rd wave down, I just don't see when you drill down and get down into hourly and 30-minute, etc. I just don't see 5 waves complete in here. So I think we've got a lot more to the downside to come. When we take a look at the weekly view, here's the picture. This is the longer term channel that we've been in, okay, from that March 2009 low. And we had the throw under here with the big move down in March. And we got a throw over with the move that we had this last summer here in August, July, August. And look at the big reversal that happened here on the NASDAQ. Okay, big reversal, big engulfing, bearish engulfing candle to the downside. And now we've gotten the follow through. I'm really expecting a lot more to come to the downside in here. And we'll see how fast that occurs. Okay, let's go back. We'll go back to the daily view. And again, one thing I just want to point out, because I know everybody looks at this and they say, well, where has he got this in terms of time, projection? This is more of a price projection for the Wave 3, not necessarily time, okay? You have no idea how long it's going to take for it to get down to this level. What I'm looking at in terms of projection, this is where given a wave 1, this is a normal length wave 3. Could end up being shorter, could end up being a lot longer, but this is where a normal length wave 3 would come in this area, okay? And we're just going to have to watch and see what the wave structures are down in here as it starts to unfold. Okay, let's take a look at the Summation Index for the Nasdaq. Now look how this continues to sell off and continues to head towards the zero line in here. The other thing that I really like to look for and have seen several times is this non-confirmation as the Nasdaq, and the same thing happens on the New York with the S&P 500, as the index moves to a higher high like it did back here in January, February, and it wasn't confirmed by the Summation Index. Same thing happened here with the move. This high is June 23rd. And then you can just see right in here, we're sitting, as we unfold, is August 17th. And so, we're just getting this negative divergence in here that shows how weak the underpinnings, the breadth and everything in the market is. And this has happened numerous times. You go back and look at the weakness that happened in the spring of 2019, and that, that huge waterfall of selling that occurred in the fall of 2018. Well, we got the same kind of divergence that occurred in the summer before we really broke down below zero and got very negative into October through December of 2018. So here we are with the same kind of divergence that's showing up, and we're rapidly approaching that zero line. And you can see, when did we break below zero? Back in March 3rd, okay, at minus 212. So that's the picture on the Summation Index. Let's take a look at Amazon. Okay, so here's Amazon. It was down $53.82 on Friday, and you can see the negativity that's been going on. It closed back here on September 2nd at 35.31. It closed 29.47 on Friday. And you can see how the damage in terms of how many days it's been trading below that 55-day moving average, 2, 4, 6 days in a row. So we're getting a lot more weakness showing up here on Amazon. And we look at the weekly chart. This is the picture, and again, a little more negative than what we just looked at on the Nasdaq Composite, down 161 points for the week. All right, the Elliott Wave picture. Let me pull that up. Okay, here's the entire history of Amazon back from when it first came public in, I think it was 1997, April, May 1997, sometime around that time frame. I think we had a big cycle wave move up here back in 2000, 99, 2000 high. And you can see, where did it get to? Around 117 or so. And then it got all the way down to $5 in 2001. September 2001 was cycle wave 2, and we've been in this huge cycle wave 3. And I think what just happened is I think we just finished a primary wave 3 within cycle wave 3. So that's my best take on what I'm seeing in here. This move from the high in September of 2018, this looks like a big sideways flat to me, and a run. I would have to call it a running flat by the way it's built in here. And I think when we bottomed here in March, then we've had this big push up in for the fifth wave and the fifth and final wave of wave 3. So this would imply that we've got a much bigger correction to go on in here. I would think at a minimum we're going to test the lows of this previous fourth wave right here. But I think in order to correct this entire third wave, it may even go a lot deeper than that. Okay, so that's the picture, looking to see how does the wave structure unfold here on Amazon. All right, that's the picture for today. Everyone, if you thought the video was helpful, hit the thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit that little subscriber button. And again, if you'd like to have more of this kind of information on a regular basis, head over to joehenches.net. Check out the website and the membership. Everyone, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you on the next video.